enough to revolutionize the world. Change will only come through struggle.
Бунт, погром, восстание, масса угнетенных.
Hello everyone, we're joined today by Comfrey Jacobs. He's the volunteer coordinator with the Buffalo Field Campaign. Comfrey, tell us a little bit about the work you guys are doing out here.
Well, we are a nonprofit advocating for wild buffalo in the state of Montana and are trying to get state and federal agencies to stop slaughtering our wildlife and actually treat them as wildlife instead of an animal in need of disease management. This includes documenting government management actions and talking to state and tribal hunters, just asking them to advocate for year-round habitat for these amazing animals in the state of Montana and the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. Now, earlier this year, you took action in a very profound way here in Yellowstone. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah, on March 6th of this year, I took a 55-gallon drum filled with cement, scrap metal, and other junk supplies to the gate of Stevens Creek Bison Trap Facility out by the north entrance of Yellowstone National Park and locked myself to this barrel and the gate in hopes of preventing Yellowstone National Park shipping our last wild bison to slaughter. I was able to delay the transport of buffalo to slaughter for about 5 hours on that day, and the next day Yellowstone announced an end to slaughter operations for the year. And now, how does it make you feel knowing that your actions that day stopped the slaughter for the rest of the year? Well, I wouldn't say it was just my actions. I would say my actions raised enough public awareness that Yellowstone had to do damage control because of the amount of public awareness that my action had brought to the issue. And because of that, it makes me feel great, but knowing that I wasn't alone in this struggle is very gratifying as well. Now, what kind of charges are you facing? Could you give us a little update with your case? I was originally charged with disorderly conduct, interfering with an agency function, and breaking the bison management closure. I signed a plea deal fairly recently, so I will only be facing interfering with a government function. I will be doing 7 days in jail, 1 year probation through the duration I'll be banned through the park, and about $400 in restitution and court fees, which is a hell of a lot better than what I was originally facing. Do you feel like all this was worth it? Yeah. I mean, I may have martyred myself a little bit, but in the end, it's no way compared to the tragedy and the hardship that the buffalo face on a day-to-day basis through these management practices. So sacrificing some of my freedom so these animals have the potentiality of being a little bit more free is completely worth it to me. And just like the amount of support and public awareness that is raised on the issue is a complete bonus, in all honesty. Like, I went in thinking I was taking a symbolic stand against Yellowstone, and instead it actually became a very effective direct action. Tell us a little bit about the Department of Livestock, everything that they're doing out here with hazings and everything. So the Department of Livestock is in charge of bison management in the state of Montana, mostly because buffalo aren't considered wildlife. They're considered an animal in need of disease management because they have the potentiality of transmitting brucellosis to domestic cattle. There's never been a documented case of buffalo transmitting brucellosis to domestic cattle, where domestic cattle are the reason buffalo carry brucellosis. So the Department of Livestock's entire plan is to create a spatial and temporal separation between buffalo and livestock, which they do by several management actions, whether it is capture, slaughter, or hazing operations. Hazing is the physical removement of all buffalo from the state of Montana, whether it's through chasing them with ATVs, horseback riders, or a helicopter all the way back into Yellowstone National Park, sometimes 20 plus miles in the day in the middle of calving season. Any buffalo they deem is unhazable will be shot.
And now, Comfrey, do you have a possible solution for buffalo management?
You know, I don't have a solid one, but this year the Park Service used the guise of population management to institute their slaughter operations. And you know, the carrying capacity of the park could far over exceed the estimated bison populations currently. But if you're really worried about population, instead of genetically limiting herds through slaughter operations, you should be expanding habitat into the state of Montana and other traditional and native ranges for these animals.
And now, what are your thoughts on the USDA and their birth control project?
It's fucked. I mean, you're using pesticides on animals. Part of the IBMP, Interagency Bison Management plan, was that there was not supposed to be population or birth control used on it. This is a sick experiment to see if they can use a pesticide on animals to make them have abortions in the field. I mean, most people think human abortions are fucked, so why aren't animal abortions just as wrong?
Why do you feel there wasn't wider coverage of your actions and really what's going on here?
I mean, there's fairly wide coverage. It's definitely the first time in several years the issue has reached national media. But there's definitely somewhat of a media blackout around the issue because it is based on special interests and cattle industry. I mean, you don't want tourists to know that there's something wrong with the buffalo, otherwise they might stop coming and paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to come visit the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. So it's about maintaining a security that tourists are coming in and coming to see the buffalo. I mean, if there's something systemically wrong with Yellowstone and their wildlife management practices, people are going to stop coming. At least I would hope.
So what's next whenever you get out? What's next on the list?
Well, I'm going to continue to work with Buffalo Field Campaign, but I also do a lot of work in the Southwest with groups such as Utah Tar Sands Resistance, opposing the first active tar sands mine in the continental U.S., as well as a group called Rednecks Against Resource Extraction, fighting fracking, natural gas, and uranium mining, mostly in western Colorado, as well as other social justice work, mostly focusing around homelessness in the Colorado region.
How long have you been active in this fight, and how long have you been with the Buffalo Field Campaign?
This is my second season. I would say in total I've been active out here 12 to 15 months with Buffalo Field Campaign, but I've been doing this type of activism for over the last 7 years.
Now, you're the volunteer coordinator with the Buffalo Field Campaign. Tell us a little bit about how people that want to get involved can either, donate or actually come out here and help.
Well, our website, www.buffalofieldcampaign.org, is an amazing resource for that. You can get links to take action, whether it's through signing a petition or sending a letter to the Secretary of the Interior, who has complete control over the National Park Service, the Governor of Montana, who has complete control over the Department of Livestock and Fish, Wildlife, and Park Service. Or you can read up on the issue. We make sure that there's weekly updates from what's going on out in the field, so you can stay up to date with what's going on out here, as well as finding an application to volunteer. And feel free to mail or email that to us, and we'll get at it and hopefully have y'all join us out here.
And now, with everyone we've talked to across the country, it seems like all these issues, whether they're animal rights, human rights, environmental issues, they all seem like they're interconnected. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they are interconnected. Social justice and environmental justice all go back to the same root problem of global capitalism and how it's killing the planet. I mean, that's what it comes down to. The planet's dying, people are dying, there's species going extinct every day. What are we going to do about it? And I don't have an answer for that besides get off my ass and do something, and that's why I took direct action, is because I couldn't just sit around and watch ecocide take place in front of me. And, you know, it's scary, but you have to do something, because if you're not going to do something, who the fuck else is?
All right, Comfrey. Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.